Blech. Whew.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening again. This is Drew, and I'm here with Omar. And just wanted to wish everybody a belated happy holidays and hope everybody had a good Christmas and a good New Year's. And I wanted to start by kind of tying up some loose ends of well, not really loose ends, but to add another part of the story that I mentioned last time up there in the New Mexico. Uh, there was another instance that happened when I was a young kid. I think I was like 8, and I was out with the family, and it was me and my parents and my cousin and my female cousin. She was a little bit older, and my aunt and uncle. And they had an RV camper, one of those. Yeah, I guess it was like a not an airstream, or what do they call it? The Winnebago.
The
The
Winnebago. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Winnebago. Yeah.
yeah. And so the kids got to sleep in that, and the adults were sleeping in the tent because there was just not that much room. And we were in the same spot where we were fishing that one night when the storm came. It was at that lake, that isolated lake, and we were camping there. And, you know, sometimes you wake up, you startled at night, and you think, am I awake? Is this a dream? Is this really happening? And it's kind of a gray area because you don't really know what's real when something surreal happens like that. But here it is. I was asleep there against the window on the fold out table bed
Mm.
in this RV. And I got startled up from my sleep. I woke up and I looked around, and my cousin was sleeping across from me, and my other cousin was sleeping towards the front of the vehicle in that bed. And there are the side view mirrors towards the front of the vehicle, the steering wheel. And in the side view mirror, I swear I saw uh, a little head. Like it was bald. And it was dark, but it didn't have any distinct color to it. Um,
Mm.
Moonlit, I guess you could call it, pale or gray-ish or something like that. But it was just the top of the head, like the hairless, just a bald top of the scalp. And it, I saw it just on the bottom side, or the bottom half of that driver's side mirror. So whatever this was, animal or creature or whatever I was looking at, wasn't that tall. It was pretty short, probably up to a little bit up higher up than the door window. Anyway, so that freaked me out. I was a little kid. I pulled the covers over my head and didn't sleep a wink until the morning came, until daylight came. And then, of course, I'm thinking, okay, imagination, it's not really anything. It was maybe a deer, uh, which doesn't make any sense because a deer's not going to have a short little bald head like that and be that short, that low to the ground. But we went about the morning, and me and my cousin, um, his name's Frank, we would always go exploring. We'd like to find lizards and cool things like that, like kids do. We like
Yeah.
to go cause ruckus, if you will. So we're out there, the family's cooking and whatnot, and we're meandering around, just kind of taking a little stroll up there, and about, oh man, maybe a little less than a football field, so 80 yards from the RV, we go up the little hill to a place where there's not a lot of area for people to get to. We were actually climbing through the foliage and whatnot, and there
Mm.
was this spot, this perfectly burnt circle in the ground, and all of the leaves were burnt, all the grass was burnt, like the pine needles. It wasn't that big. It was maybe the size of a living room, but it
Mm.
was a circle in the ground, burnt.
That was the next morning.
That was the next morning. True story. And
So
it's
what you think you saw? Was it more humanoid, just from what
well,
you
it looked
remember?
like when you first see it, it's kind of like, okay, what did I just see? But from what I saw, it did look humanoid. It looked like a bald-headed child, if you will. I
Mm-hmm.
just saw the top of the head in that, and I didn't see anything else except for the top of the head, and it was moving away from the window where I was sleeping next to. So it was moving in the direction of the front of the vehicle, and that is the direction up the hill that me and Frank were walking around the next morning. But at first I'm thinking, okay, I didn't know if this was real or if I had a nightmare or what I was seeing. But when we saw that burnt circle, I mean, how do you explain that, man? It was like a bonfire, but it was just so nice and round, like perfect. It was just
Symmetrical.
weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it wasn't big or anything. Like I said, it was pretty small, but it was just it. I don't know how to explain it, and we both freaked out. Um, I think
Like goosebumps, like you just saw it and you knew that was odd type of free, like scared.
I guess at first when I saw it, it wasn't goosebumpy. It was just kind of like, okay, let's get out here and get back to the campground. And then later I kind of connected the two. Because sometimes when you wake up in the middle of the night, you're a little foggy headed. And
Mhm.
it's, to me, initially, it seemed like two separate instances. I didn't make the connection immediately because I was little. I was like 8 or 9. And I just, you see something like that in the mirror and you think, oh, monster. Or I wasn't thinking little green men. I wasn't thinking gray aliens.
Yeah.
I was thinking something's going to get me, kind of monster thing. And that's when, you cover your head and just don't sleep until the sun comes up or until your parents wake you up or
Right.
are awake. But then when we saw the circle burnt in the ground, it was really weird. And I think the only thing both of us thought was, let's just get out of here and get back to the camp. Um, and then, of course, later, making the connections, it's just really weird because it's way too coincidental,
Yeah.
I think. And it's the same damn place, that place right there, that isolated lake. It's
Years later, you saw
the lights, yeah,
uh,
the
light.
forest fire that wasn't a fire, the glow and the trucks and the lights, and yeah, there's something funky going on around there, but it's interesting, to say the least. But that was just one more story or happening that I wanted to touch base on, because we were talking about it last time. So
Yeah.
so who knows, man?
That's real interesting. Now that you're older, though, with more experience and knowledge, what do you think it was?
I still don't know,
And
man.
more importantly, do you think they were connected?
I think they
Mm.
were connected. I do
Yeah.
think they were connected. I still don't know what it was or what it is. Um,
Hmm.
that's why, as often as I can, I like to go back there and see what I can see, even though it's not really fruitful. Don't really get a whole lot of results, but man, I mean, could it be gray aliens? Could it be some other type of aliens, some other race of alien, interdimensional beings? Could it
Mm.
be inbred, like hillbilly forest people messing with campers? Maybe, I don't know, but I mean, for all
Have
who
to
knows,
have to
yeah.
be pretty small, man, for it to be that. I mean, not that it's impossible, but certainly
Well,
you try
they're,
to find
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
They could have their little inbred children running around at night, like, like go catch the squirrels or raccoons, and we're gonna have coon for breakfast. Go get your. So I I don't know, honestly, but if I had to put money on it, I'd say it was probably some kind of alien creature. But I
Well,
want to go back
basically,
out there, man. I
yeah,
do.
yeah. That's that's crazy. That's crazy for something, uh, kind of like to strike gold twice, but
In
to
that
still
area,
in
and
that
that's
area
when
exactly. Yeah.
that's when or when that's where we went, and I'd like to go back out there with you guys, or just you, Omar.
Mhm.
Um, to and we'll stay there for a good chunk of time to try to find something.
Yeah. 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 No, definitely. um, something out there for sure. You know, the time that we've been out there, it's pretty secluded, isolated, and definitely it's a nice place. But honestly, I mean, just from the time that I was there, kind of an eerie feeling, to be honest with you. Um, so I don't know. Yeah, that would be ideal and cool thing to do moving forward.
It would be cool. Yeah, I'd like to do that. But again, I digress. I know we're going on to another topic, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to, kind of tie up that last topic because that kind of goes hand in hand with it since it was the same place. But
No,
you've got
definitely.
you've got some interesting stuff that happened, right? That you need to talk about here in Texas.
Yeah, yeah, I do. And well, in Texas, and kind of another story that happened when I was a bit younger. That just one that instance that happened, a week ago, week and a half ago, kind of triggered because I was on the road and saw something.
Okay.
I guess I'll start with the the one
What?
when I was younger and kind of move on to Texas. The one when I was younger was about not even too young. I was a teenager, 15. I'm gonna say late 90s, 98 maybe, 98, 99. And we would frequently drive down to Mexico to Guadalajara to visit family that we have down there.
Okay.
So it's a pretty long trip, from El Paso down there. It's about a 20-hour drive.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, yeah, but it was late at night. My older brother, was old enough to help my dad drive. My mom was there too. She just doesn't like driving at night. She was asleep at the time, actually. We had one of those old school, 1995 Astro vans. Heading down, I believe we were between uh, a state called Durango and Zacatecas. So we're actually pretty close to our destination. But it must have been about 2:30 in the morning. I was a little tired, but more excited to be on the road. So I know uh, that at least for me, it wasn't something that I just were you're in the middle of the night, especially in these Mexican roads. You don't have the light that you do in American highways. I mean, it is pitch black. So um,
Right.
you
Yeah.
could try to explain it away that, well, maybe it was just something that you saw. But here's kind of the kicker: is we're just driving on the road, talking amongst ourselves. Dad's driving, brother's in the passenger seat, and I'm kind of in the middle. Those vans kind of had a big opening, so you could say we were all kind of in the front seat of it. And as we're driving, I'm looking straight at the road,
So this
and
is your mom and dad, and then your older brother.
yes, sir.
Oh,
And
okay.
my mom's asleep in the back. It was, like I said, one of those old school Astro vans. And us three were awake. And
Okay.
so driving down, kind of having a conversation. I know even the radio was kind of low because we're having a conversation. I think we were talking about what we're going to do when we get there. But um, uh, just as we're talking, not even out of the corner of my eye is the thing is right in front of the road. It's one of those roads where it's just a two-lane road.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, uh, and it's again an old school dark road. I see a man in a bicycle in
What?
in the middle of the road. Mm.
A dude was riding a bicycle in the middle of the road, in
In
the
the middle
middle
of
of
the
the
road,
dark.
in the middle of nowhere. I'm telling you, I believe Zacatecas was about 100 kilometers away, like the nearest big city or
And
whatever.
you sure it wasn't some dude with his paletas, like trying to make it to the
If
town?
it was, we would have stopped for one. No, it was,
Oh,
it was, and it was odd because if memory serves me correctly, the man was wearing a trench coat. That's the only thing I could remember, um, just very vividly. And the bike, it was the bike. But here's the thing: is it was in the middle of the road, but not really. It was in the middle of the road, closer to our side,
Okay.
where my dad should have clearly hit him. In fact, the reason I freaked out and I kind of got shocked was because I was like, oh, you know, we're about to hit this dude that's in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And as we're about to hit him, just nothing. Just
Well,
disappears.
it disappeared.
Disappeared. And
So
so no, it just I mean, again, dark. The only thing you could see in front of you is, the headlights. I mean, there is clearly a man, trench coat, in a bike, riding in the middle of the road, and should have gotten hit by us. Um, but there was no, I even remember bracing for the thump. Nothing.
interesting.
Now, here's the thing. All three of us quiet for a good minute.
So you all saw
Finally,
it.
my dad speaks up.
Everybody saw the
My
same.
dad speaks up and said, "Did you guys see that?" And as soon as he said that, both me and my brother at the same time, the man in the bicycle, and we're just Lord. And the moment we all realized that we saw the same thing, was one of those goosebump feelings,
Uh,
like what the hell did we just see?
yeah.
And the same thing, yeah. My dad said I saw him as I was about to hit him. I was waiting for the thump, and he just disappeared. Just and from there on, when we're all three of us are awake, we're thinking, well, maybe the most logical, there isn't a logical explanation, but maybe somebody got run over, a long time ago there. But it was just odd, and we all saw the same thing: man riding a bicycle with what seemed like to be kind of like a trench coat,
Huh.
which is just
And so right when your van passed him, he disappeared. And
he
there was
just yeah,
nothing. You looked
no,
back in the back
oh,
rearview window. There's nothing. Just empty road.
nothing, just nothing, just and there wasn't another car till we reached the other town. Just it was when I'm saying desolate, back roads. That's what it was.
Yeah.
There is no. It would have even been odd if it was something that was real and we hit him. If it was a real person riding a bicycle, there is no reason for somebody to
Them to
be
be
on.
there at 2:30 in the morning, right?
Mhm.
Wearing a trench coat. But so your mom woke up for this? You said she was sleeping on the.
So she was sleeping, and I mean, we woke her up discussing it because we got loud. We're like, oh, and she's like, what are you all talking about? And
Okay, so initially it was your dad, you and your brother that saw it then.
oh yeah, my mom did not see anything. I mean, to this day, she doesn't believe us. She thinks we made it up, and we're like, it's nope, we didn't. It's kind of a random thing to make up.
Mhm.
It's just I don't know. It was crazy, and just the best way I could describe it is disappeared into thin air.
So some kind of ghost, phantom, apparition, something. But
Yeah,
I mean, if you were able to see that much detail, the bicycle, the trench coat, and sadly no paletas or
no,
anything that he was.
no, sure.
So, yeah, man, those desolate roads, they're creepy, man.
Mhm.
Um, wow, have you driven down that road since?
Nope, we take the toll booths.
Yeah,
Not
I don't
anymore.
blame
But hey, that's a good idea. Maybe when I do drive down there, it'll be a different story.
you. Yeah,
But yeah, no, it was something. It was and it's again, it was the fact that we all saw it, and I knew
so
that they did because the silence. You could just
well, yeah, that's what happens typically. Like you're in shock and you're
Mhm,
trying to process, okay, what is going on? What am I seeing? What is this? This cannot be real. And then the words come out. But
mhm.
okay, so creepy Mexican ghost man on a bike. How does that relate to what happened to you a week ago?
So really, the only way is instead of creepy dark road in Mexico is creepy dark road in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not a main road like I-10, anything like that. It was one of the back roads that you get to northern Austin. And so, me and my girlfriend were driving out of Austin, coming back home to El Paso,
Hmm.
uh, probably about an hour or so on the road. And the thing is, for those of you who are in that area or live in Texas, is the amount of deers that come out at night
Oh,
are
it's a lot.
incredible. So you have to be pretty sharp. I remember my girlfriend was even kind of on the fence on leaving at night. She typically doesn't like driving at night,
Hmm.
whereas I do because for obvious reasons. So
Yeah, so
she
you can see creepy stuff.
exactly. that's that's the money right there. And what's crazy is that I packed my GoPro.
And you forgot it.
And no, yeah, and I just forgot to put it on there. It was in my
Oh,
backpack.
okay.
And the truck, we actually have the stand for it. So I could have been recording the road the whole time.
Oh man.
Not only that, it would have been alive, the battery, because it happened about an hour in. Which it sucks, but you learn from that. That's never gonna happen again. But the moment you do record it, nothing will happen. So um anyways, we're driving down. Uh, I forget if it's I forget what road it is, but it's one of the back roads. And again, we're awake because we're keeping a close eye uh, out for deer. That's really what we're watching out for. It's
Right, you
uh,
don't want to wreck. So
we hit one. So we're driving, just kind of having a conversation about randomness of the stuff we did down there. And as we're driving down, and here's the different part is that here it is real dark and desolate, but there is quite a bit of cars on the road. Even again, it's a two-way road, so you constantly have to be turning on and off your brights.
uh-huh.
To, to not blind the other driver that's coming uh, the opposite way of you. But so I'm driving, and all of a sudden, and again, I'm pretty analytical. She is too. But we both saw just what I could only describe as a dark blur, but not just a blur because it was clear. It had some shape to it. The best way I could describe it is it was very long, big, low to the ground though, on all fours. So not a deer, not elk. If I could put it on, a description, and it would be that it was like a very large dog or a wolf or something to that effect, but just fast. And the reason I'm saying it was fast is because on this road I was going a good 85 miles, 90 miles an hour. Um, I had my brights on. There's another car coming this way as well. Um, about
And you saw it to the left of you or right of you?
oh, it crossed the street.
It crossed the street.
Oh yeah, no, it crossed in front of us.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
it like from one side of the road to the other.
And
And
all you saw was the blur because it was
a
so
blur,
fast.
just a blur. It was incredibly quick, but you could tell when it started, like when it started crossed, and just nothing. And right away, I was like, "Did you see that?" And my girlfriend was like, "Yeah, I did." Trying to
So
figure it out, like, well,
yeah.
what
What
was that though?
what did she say? Like what
She
was
was taken aback a little bit. She she
uh
was she was like, "What was that?" And me, it's funny. I didn't get scared or anything. I was excited. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like right away throwing things out. Did I just see Dog Man? Did I, what did I see? I was like, I don't know what I saw, but whatever it was inhumanly fast. Just in faster than again. I'm going 85, 90 miles an hour. For it to just be a blur at the speed that I was going, you know, what could it be?
well,
Um,
and then so you didn't want to go back, turn around and see if you could see it again?
So I mean, I was at that point, I was going 85, 90 miles an hour, even if I wanted to stop. And again, there was cars behind me and coming towards me as well. You know, I remember looking in my rearview mirrors, trying to see if I could see anything. But it's dark. I mean, it's dark,
Oh
dark,
man,
dark.
that's when you need that night vision.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, what it was that I don't know. I can't really put a shape to it like I can with Bicycle Ghost Man, whatever it was. It
Yeah.
was not, yeah, it was not discernible. I couldn't tell you. We stopped by to get gas shortly after that. And while I was doing that, I was looking up different cryptids in Texas. And one that kind of came, that popped out. And so it's funny. It's the first one, the first cryptid out there was the Bear King of Marble Falls,
Okay,
which
so yeah, what is Bear King?
so as that goes, they really don't know what it is. Some people say it was a big bear, but some people say it was even like a Bigfoot. But the story goes that this uh, big, you know, hominid bear-looking thing took this girl from a village. Just took it back to its living quarters. And while it fell asleep, the girl escaped, went back to town. Hunters went down to the cave, and apparently they killed it.
And this
But
thing was walking on two legs, or no?
yeah,
The
on all two and all
Bear
four,
King.
yes, which is kind of like a bear. It'll run on four, walk on two, or can stand type of deal.
Okay,
Um,
well, okay, I can see. I mean, yeah, because bears do that all the time. But so this was either like a massive cryptid giant bear, or you're saying it was like a werebear or just a big bear?
like a just a big bear is what I the from what I read briefly. Um,
Yeah, but what you saw doesn't sound like that. I mean,
No, it doesn't. The only reason I'm connecting is because I was about 20 miles north of Marble Falls.
uh,
Um, but there's other cryptids in Texas. So, I guess take your pick. But that was just the closest thing because, yeah, that's, I mean, the other thing that they report is that it did run and, incredibly fast. But
oh,
it's,
okay.
to me personally, it seemed more dog like. It was like a big dog.
Oh man, see, I mean, like if I were to throw three things out there, I'd say, okay, Dogman, right? There's a lot
That's
of
the first
sightings
thing.
of Dogman.
Mhm.
Two, the Black Panthers that
Yeah,
are a cryptid in Texas. Everybody says, oh, there's no way, but yes, there are Black Panthers in Texas. People see them. My friend John has seen two of them, and he
mhm.
lives in East Texas, by the Piney Woods, and he's seen them.
Really.
Uh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's actually seen him with his own eyes. I went to go visit him a while back, and we were having a discussion about it. And he says that they've been around for a while. That it's just common knowledge that they're there. But those are only the people that live in those Texas towns that know that they're there, because according to the Department of Wildlife, they're not supposed to be, um, indigenous to that area.
Yeah.
Uh, and then, of course, number three, you know, I'm big on Bigfoot and big on Sasquatch, and Sasquatch are known to get down on all fours and crawl, like army crawl really fast,
Yeah.
to travel. And some Sasquatch are pitch black too. And they've got that real dark fur, where this doesn't reflect any light, any moonlight or anything.
But
So,
and that's the thing is we should have because we're trying to figure it out. Me and my girlfriend were discussing it. There was our lights that we just the lights that are in front of us, and lights that you could see from cars coming down the other side of the road.
right.
And that's the weird thing. It didn't give off a shadow.
So
That's the other.
you should have seen something, right?
Yes.
And then a lot of people, they say that Dogman too is just darker than night. That it's like the darkest dark you could imagine.
Well, and that's exactly what I saw. Just darkness. And oh, I can't tell you the goosebumps that I got. Just that feeling of like, what the hell did I just see in front of me? Um, and just it was just again the fastest thing I've ever seen. Again, I mean, you're going you're going 85, 90 miles down the road and there's something kind of directly in front of you crossing the street, you should get to it pretty quickly, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And it just was faster than that.
That's interesting. And then, you think, okay, how all of these physical characteristics that you're describing, not casting a shadow, not reflecting any light, moving at supernatural speeds, um, all of these characteristics that these cryptids have in common. The cryptozoologist people, they justify it, with evolution or adaptive traits or just characteristics that haven't been discovered yet
Yeah.
in the scientific community. But on the other hand, to play devil's advocate, if there is a possibility that there's a realm shift or a thinning of a veil, and
Yep.
these beings are interdimensional beings, then that totally throws everything out the window, because that's stuff we don't even know about, and it could be ethereal, or it could be corporal, you know, um, but we don't know,
No.
right?
Well, no,
Because
and it's funny that you mentioned that because that's another thought that went through my head. It's like almost like maybe,
boreal, sorry.
yeah, maybe seeing again the thinning of the veil, like just dimension on top of dimensions. That at that point in time, something somewhere else was happening, where maybe this dog man or Sasquatch exists, and we got a glimpse of it, or it just because it almost that's the other thing is I clearly saw it cross the street to the other side and just not be there because I mean again I turned around to see if I could see bushes or trees or something, and it's
Right.
almost like it just disappeared.
Well, and
You know,
right. The thing
like
about the
into
disappear,
portal into what? You know, um,
right, into what or through what? Or
mhm,
exactly. The disappearances, why things are able to appear and disappear so readily, just like on a whim.
yeah,
It makes sense that if there's two realities or two dimensions that are at a point where they're touching, and that veil is thinned at that point, it's like walking over a threshold, for these beings. It's like me going in from the hallway to a bedroom, just
mhm,
jumping one. I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out, just really quick. Yeah, they could do that, if there is that thinning of the veil between the dimensions. And then, God, I mean, who knows how many dimensions there are? But of course, this is talking about if these things are ethereal.
of course,
Um, there's also the possibility that they are inhabitants of the earth, and it's just there's these creatures that we haven't seen yet, and now because of urbanization and the building and tearing down the forests and the population's just expanding, we're cutting into their territory, you know
yeah,
so that's another explanation as to why we're seeing a lot more of them too.
yeah. No, yeah, um,
I,
it's could be a couple of different things, but it's one of those things where uh, I know I saw something, but I'm not sure what it was. I could just kind of try to give it the best description that I can, because again, it moves so quickly.
oh no, absolutely. I mean, the next time you and I go out, we pick a spot and we're just going to go, canvas it. We'll have the night vision with us for sure, so that'll help a lot, and definitely be recording pretty much around the clock,
Yeah.
um, because I really would like to actually get some kind of images, photos, video clips, whatever, uploaded to the website, or because that's what it's about, finding what it is, even if it's
If
explainable.
it's explainable. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah, I went I spent 2 days by myself down in the Sam Houston National Forest, in one of the deeper parts that you can only uh, tent camp, because it's pretty primitive.
Yeah.
And God, it was gorgeous. It's beautiful. Just driving in there, just the thickness and the denseness of that forest is just amazing. But it is kind of creepy too. So First night, I was there alone and didn't get much sleep. Second night, I drove to a hotel and stayed in a hotel. It was like, this is great, but my blood pressure can only take so much. So
Oh man, and why did you have trouble sleeping? Was it just eerie,
I
that
think
eerie
it was the nerves, yeah, because it was really
anxiety?
peaceful. It
Mhm.
just, I didn't have anything with me. I didn't have any weapons with me.
Yeah,
Um, it was just me in the car. So I guess that was a little disconcerting,
yeah.
if you will. But I mean that. So that's interesting, man. So this, the bicycle man was in Mexico, and then this shadow wolf thing that you saw across the road was on the road coming from Austin back to where? To El
Back to El
Paso? Or
Paso. Mhm.
how do you? Wow, so you must have been going west, northwest then.
Yeah, through Fredericksburg. There's a way to because it's Cedar Pines is what it's called. It's North Austin. There's a quicker way to get from instead of crossing out through Austin, you go through the back roads, and you can get back on the I-10. You do get back on the I-10, but you just kind of circumvent going through Austin, and it saves you about an hour
Oh,
actually.
okay, I
So,
got
so that's why we went through those back roads. And I mean, honestly, that's really the only way I would go from now on.
you. Yeah, well,
Just
yeah.
yeah, you see, and you know what the funny part is?
What's
As
that?
well, I didn't see any deer.
Hmm. Well,
Now I that just came to I just kind of that just popped into my head. Yeah, I was looking out for deer, because they come out so much, and on the way from El Paso to Austin the week before, I must have seen like 20, 30 deer on that same road going to Austin.
so obviously some kind of predator around there.
Yeah,
Um,
that's crazy. It just kind of dawned on me right now, retelling the story, because I didn't. The moment I got on the I-10 though, I saw deers, but I didn't see any deer on that road.
yeah. Well,
That's yeah.
well, no, that makes sense. There's something, whether it's a, I mean, anything, coyotes, coy wolves, whatever. It'll disperse the population, the deer population. They won't be as out and about. But for you to go that span of highway without seeing anything, that's it's got to be a pretty big predator. So,
Yeah. Wow. Crazy.
wow. So, like, what does your girlfriend say about it now? Still, does she kind of shrug it off, or does she kind of?
Well, no, it's funny, she tried to kind of, well, maybe this, but she's actually the one, she's like, I don't understand why there wasn't a shadow though. Um, she just says, yeah, we saw something, but I don't know what it is. We kind of got into that conversation,
Yeah.
after I was done pumping gas, about what it could have been. I kind of explained to her, what dogman is, all that stuff. And I mean, she knows, she's not convinced. She knows she saw something with me.
Hmm.
Um, she just doesn't know what. So, I mean, if you were to ask her, in fact, she was actually telling some of our coworkers, she's like, well, we saw something on the road, when we came back. So, it's something's out there.
And did the coworkers kind of, poo-poo that, or did they say, okay, maybe?
Yeah, they were kind of like, well, yeah, but more keeping it in the realm of it was, maybe, you know,
And I can't tell you, that's the biggest thing is like when I had my, my Bigfoot encounter, and as many people as I've told about the lights, the UFO thing
mhm,
up in New Mexico, uh, 90% of people think you're
full
full
of
of
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they think you're crazy and full of it, but I don't care,
yeah,
and then a lot of people don't tell their stories or don't tell their encounters because they're afraid of the ridicule. But I
mhm,
don't understand that. Why are you afraid of the ridicule? You know what you saw. What does
mhm,
it matter,
yeah, yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, that's.
I mean, yeah, I've been called bad names or funny names, crazy or, what is it? Not a child, but immature. Uh, you don't know, your imagine's running away from you and all that stuff. But I don't care. I know what I saw, and it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I proudly tell people about the encounters I've had because I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't, I don't find it humiliating. I find it neat and interesting.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it just goes back to kind of your mindset. I mean, you're right. I mean, if you have that confidence where, I mean, it shouldn't matter what other people think, what you saw, and they can choose to either believe it or not.
Yeah,
Um, or kind of like, oh, hey, kind of have an open mind about it, think it's interesting.
exactly.
Just
Exactly.
interesting, what it could be. So yeah, I mean, there's luckily there's been witnesses, I guess, with me when I've seen these things. My girlfriend this time around a couple weeks back, and then back in the late 90s, my dad and my brother. So it's one of those things where at least we could talk about it, and we'll bring it up every once in a while, and we even say, we joke around on it, like, oh, hey, the bicycle man.
Bicycle.
um yeah, so I don't know. It's funny because I've never, like, I guess, done research on it. Maybe somebody did get killed on that road.
Hmm.
Um, and maybe that's what we saw, some type of apparition.
That would
Um,
be interesting.
who knows?
Because there again, when you're talking about, I think I've discussed this with you, when you're talking about realities, what is a reality? It's the combination of space and time, which makes up our physical reality, right?
Mhm.
And I think that some of these apparitions, these ghosts, they don't follow the time laws or the time rules that we do. So they're from another reality because
Mhm.
time is of no essence to them. They could be from ages ago, or, time has no meaning. And then with the space thing, that's when you're talking, you get into that whole thing about like wormholes and
Mhm.
black holes, and then these, like, in any certain point in time in the universe, there could be different space realms or space, uh, I guess, locations, whatever. I'm talking like, uh, I guess that would be more interdimensional if we're going with that. But
Yeah.
it's interesting. It just, thinking about all of that, you got to keep an open mind. That's the most important thing.
Yep. Always, always, because there's certainly a lot out there, that even in the science community, that we still don't understand. A lot.
Yeah,
So because of that, we kind of have to keep an open mind. Um, to unexplain things.
because at any given point, I mean, there's got to be some kind of life somewhere else in the universe, right? And I mean, if we're talking about,
Yeah, the numbers don't lie, just by numbers alone. And
yeah,
the
go with statistics, go with numbers, just go with common sense. It's, you look at all the different solar systems and galaxies that are out there. There's got to be, I mean, other forms of life, and in that same span of time, there's different. That's what I'm talking about. Different spaces, different areas where there are either life forms or intelligent life forms or other versions of what we know, is our Earth, our day to day.
Right.
Anyway, I digress. Of course, that's yeah, a little.
Subject for another time, perhaps. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
we
it's
will get into it.
deep, yeah, but I do want to let everybody know that now that we're in 2021, and
Mhm.
hopefully it's a new year. Hopefully it's not 2020 part two or extreme version, because that would
Right.
be
That would suck.
horrible. That would suck. Yes. Um, we're going to try to be doing these recordings once a week, to get them uh, more frequent, touch other topics, broad range of topics, get some actual action in there, go out and check out some places and get some pictures, get some videos, get some people on here to tell their stories. And even if it's just talking about theory, not essentially an encounter, we can touch on topics and get into some conversations on that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And should be very, very interesting topics moving forward.
So you got anything else to add about your trip this past recent December, Omar?
No, I mean nothing else. Saw a couple of falling stars, which was awesome, but just really the only odd thing that happened while I was while I was away. But again,
Right.
it in a way a good thing because it kind of just jogged my memory. And I remembered that other story, that other happening that happened to me, quite some time ago now. So
No, that's
uh,
good. Yeah. Was it just you and your girlfriend, the two of you?
yeah, just
Okay.
sure.
That's must have been nice to get out of El Paso for a while, huh?
Oh, definitely, especially during the holiday seasons.
Dude, I miss Chico's Tacos. I know you're gonna make fun of me, but I do. I miss it.
You know what? Everybody from El Paso does. A lot of the people that we went to go visit down there, in Austin, are from El Paso, and yeah, that's always what they miss. It's
Oh my
funny.
God, I know. And then it's funny because like I crave it, like I want it so bad, and then I go and I have like a double order, and then I feel sick,
Yeah, then you're done. Then you have
and then
diarrhea
I'm
for
done.
the
Man, good old El Paso. Yep. Ah, did you ever go out to the Cosmic Campground?
No, no, I'm not gonna be able to make it out there probably till after February, till after about mid-February. The thing
Okay.
about going out there as well is you have to do it on the the right time as well.
Okay.
It's beautiful either way, but the time that you have to go is during the new moon because you need the least amount of light. So, that moonlight does,
It
believe it or
affects stuff,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've gone, during the new moon and even at a half moon,
Well,
a little bit
maybe
more than half a moon, and it's a big difference. I mean, you could see the Milky Way with no moon, is the big difference. It's insane.
maybe we should collaborate and try to come up with a time because I'd like to go out there with you. We can take some of the equipment, like the night vision stuff, which would help like terrestrially, and then we can take some of the scopes we have that would help, astronomically,
Yeah.
looking up
Oh,
at the stars. But I mean that I'd be willing to make that trip.
oh, threaten me with a good time. You let me know when, buddy. I can
All
get the
right.
time.
Yeah.
I
Sounds
think
good.
we can get some good even if we don't capture anything in the night sky, that would be something that I think people would enjoy, put linking it to the website and everything,
That's
because
cool. And then also anybody who's listening or, checks us out, we've got like it's everywhere. It's Reddit, Facebook. We have the website, Google email. The website has an email. What else we got? The YouTube channel.
YouTube channel,
Now Spotify.
Spotify, and then working on connecting everything with Instagram as well here in the
Yeah.
next. So
So like if people have any stories or that are related to our theme, which, right? I mean, of course, we don't really have a theme. I mean, we like to talk about weird stuff in general, no matter what. But if it's around like El Paso, Mexico, New Mexico, anything with like Hispanic folklore or traditions to it, that it's just a cherry on top. That would be fantastic. I mean, I'd love to research more into like the duendes and the chupacabra, but I think that's from Puerto Rico, isn't
Puerto
it?
Rico.
Originally,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's been sightings all around the world since then. So, take your pick.
Take
Um,
your pick. Yep.
yeah.
Yep. But all right, man. That was very interesting, and I guess next time you plan a trip down to Austin, let me know. I'm here in Dallas, so we could meet halfway and we can do a joint effort.
Yeah, for sure. I actually might be going down there in February. So, but I'll keep you posted. I'm not sure
Okay,
if
as long as it's well after the Super Bowl, because my Bills are taking it all this year.
I hope so. I hope so,
They
brother.
look good, man.
I hope you guys can take out the Chiefs. We'll see.
Let's go Buffalo. Woo!
Yeah. I'm cheering for you.
Sorry, had to get that in there. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. And I guess we'll call it for this week and try to get another quick episode in next week if you're down, Omar. What do you say?
Absolutely. We'll be here.
All right. Well, I hope everybody has a good night. And thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.